out because I don't have.
Are you saying, are there separate mind streams?
I guess so.
Yeah, so Buddhism says, yes, there are separate mind streams.
But what good does that do? Like Buddhism says, okay. So
Oh, how does that?
How do I
qualify? Well, you have to evaluate it. You have to analyze it. You have to be critical. You have to think logically. Just accept it because somebody said it.
So then what's the point in dedicating your death to the eradication of death for others if it actually doesn't do anything?
Who said it doesn't do it?
He just said
it's a mystic power.
It doesn't do anything.
For that, that's something for you.
Yeah, you guys kind of
So
interrupted
then it's
before I got to the
actually just.
punchline.
So then it's just dedicating something to yourself. It's just inadvertent selfishness.
Right.
I'd say it's intentional.
So then why don't you just die and say, I hope
But if
that...
you think it's going to do something like that, then you have that intention. Like if you think that...
But now I can't think that, because now I know that it's...
I know, then you have to reinvent Buddhism. I know.
I mean, Master Holy Drapa Gyaltsen says that it's a mystical power because it makes you move faster, and then you can teach other people how to do that themselves. The action of saying, may I take everyone else's pain upon myself, has a very profound effect upon my mind when I do that, which changes the nature of my mind, the nature of my experience, and the nature of my perception, which enables me to become purer and holy faster, which then enables me to help other people faster. And that's the mystical power of that LOJONG practice. So, from a Buddhist perspective, we can only affect our mind and improve our mind and our perceptions. Now, you can say there's a regressive loop there. Right? You could say there's a regressive, there's an infinite regression there. Right? That if the only thing that matters to me is my perception, right? The only thing that matters to you is your perception. Well, I want to do everything possible to have totally pure, blissful projections, right? And can I do that? Is it possible for me to accomplish that if I don't care about you and your perception? You see? So, is it possible for me to be just ultimately selfish and say, I really don't care about anybody. All I care about is myself. I just want my own happiness, and I don't care about anybody else's happiness. So I'm going to just pretend that I care about everybody else. I'm going to pretend I'm a bodhisattva, and pretend to do virtue because I want to save my ass and I don't really give a shit about their ass.
Well, but it's not that. It's saying that even if you do care, even if you do cultivate that wish, if you can't ultimately do anything but help yourself, then is that...
What's the point? What's the point? Well, the reason to become enlightened, the reason to become a holy practitioner, the reason to become enlightened is to teach other people. Like the Buddha
so ultimately, you can eradicate the experience of death, because if you dedicate your death and thus your reincarnation to freeing others from that experience, and maybe you don't free them from the inevitable death that they'll face in that incarnation, but you're leading them to freedom.
Yeah, and that's the mystical power of the practice is that you will accelerate your spiritual evolution and be able to help them sooner rather than later in the next life or the next life or the next life.
Okay.
And so that's true of all of our spiritual practices, The only way we can help anyone is to teach them to change themselves to be more virtuous. So, if a Buddha can help people by sprinkling pixie dust or saying, turn left instead of turn right, we'd all be much better off. But the only way that holy beings can help is by teaching. And so, holiness manifests as teaching, as spiritual teaching, so that people can hear these words which have no meaning from their own side, which have no nature from their own side. Someone else can hear these words and they can be completely nonsensical, they can be completely irrelevant. But then you can hear these words and they can be high holy instructions. So, holy beings can only help by providing ideas and teachings so that a person can do what they need to do to change themselves into a pure being, and thereby, as a pure being, help others become pure beings, and extend themselves to others to become pure beings. So that's the whole point of our path and practice. That's the point of bodhicitta. That's the point of lojong, is to say, the only way I can ever help anyone, the only way anybody can help anybody is to teach them how to change their body, speech, and into virtue. And so, whatever I can do for myself to accelerate my path, whatever I can do for myself to increase my capacity to help others, is helping others. See? So, to the extent that I can be a great lojong practitioner, I'm meaningfully, tangibly helping other people right now by being better behaved towards them, and by getting enlightened faster, so that I can help them in a more profound way. Because once I'm enlightened, I can read their minds, I can see the past, present, and future, I know exactly what they need, I know I can emanate this exact thing at this point in time to teach them this exact lesson. So it's a matter of degrees in terms of how much we can teach and how much we can help. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So that's the mystic power, mystical power of the practice. And so now, the next one to the 12-point lojong. Please say lojong.
Lojong.
Namke.
Namke. Kima.
Lojong means lojong. Namke means space or sky. And Kima means kind of a celestial mansion. This is astrological. It's like the zodiac, Persian zodiac. The 12 astrological signs.
Constellation.
Yeah. So, the Tibetan system, they have the same idea. And so it's named after these 12 houses of astrology, or 12 celestial mansions, 12 astrological scriptures. So this is the lojong they're describing. And they use it as a metaphor. There are 12 spiritual qualities a person develops by practicing lojong. So they describe 12 sort of outcomes or effects of practicing lojong. Then we're going to finish up with the lojongs tonight, and then we'll be on to the Wheel of Knives next week for the next 2 classes, and then there'll be a review class after that. So this is a lojong where they're describing 12 spiritual qualities of the person who's succeeded in their practice and has reached the goals of lojong. They tend to exhibit these different behaviors. Right? So the first one is called yiche. Please say yiche.
Yiche.
Yiche means you can count on the person. They're there for you. So if you study lojong well, if you're a good lojong practitioner, you make a commitment to someone. You actually do it. You actually do what you say you're going to do. Right? You're not flake. Like totally trustworthy. Right? They don't let down people. Put down their character. You can count on them. They keep their commitments. Okay, so they're trustworthy. Second, please say kadrin.
Kadrin.
Dren.
Dren.
Kadrin Dren.
Kadrin Dren.
Kadrin Dren. Kadrin means kindness, and Dren means to remember. You remember people's kindnesses in the sense if someone does something for you, you remember it. Somebody helps you, someone's kind to you. You don't forget them. You remain loyal to that person. So you're loyal to the people who have helped you, the people who are kind to you. And so it's a barometer of your practice to start to really appreciate people, especially teachers or people who have helped during your life, to start to really have that sense of gratitude. And the sweeter practice gets, the more gratitude or sort of feeling of loyalty towards those who have shown goodness becomes. Sort of a real appreciation of that. But it's like if somebody saves your life, you really appreciate it, right? So there's a sense of as you become a good lojong practitioner, you really have an appreciation for the fact that this is changing your life and saving all your future lives, right? So there's a sense of gratitude and loyalty, right? Third, please say mila.
Mila.
Rock. So mila means to people, and rok means helpful. So anytime you see anyone who needs the slightest bit of help, you help. I mean, somebody's got an extra bag, and I'm not carrying it, you offer to help them, right? I remember when I started being a police practitioner, I'd be like walking with somebody, and a lady, a small lady, and do another lady trying to carry a big bag up the steps, and she's like, "Oh, let me help you." See, come on, grab somebody's bag and say, "Let me help you." You know, I think you're gonna take it and run, you know. But then after a while, I was like, oh, I guess I should really be doing that, right? I shouldn't leave it to like a little small girls that can carry the big bag and stuff, right? So, every time, always looking to help people, always in motion, always active, always, the slightest apparent opportunity to help someone, you just jump on it, right? And you help them. So offering help, some kind of, when they really need it, you offer some kind of help, some kind of substantial help, being helpful, right? Okay. Number 4, please say kunla.
Kunna.
Jam.
Jam.
So kunla means to everybody, and jam means they're soft or gentle. It's kind of softness or gentleness, like friendliness to everyone. How you meet people, there are people who are soft-spoken and sweet, and kind of nice to interact with. Not sort of the typical type A New Yorker who's in your face. So it's just automatically friendly to everybody. It's like the sense of, look, we're all suffering together, we're all dying, I'll just be nice to everybody. I'll just treat everybody well. Even if you don't feel well, just be nice to other people, help them have a good day. Right? It doesn't cost anything. So that's another sign of being a successful Lojong practitioner is that you're friendly and gentle to everyone. You say Shenla?
Shenla.
Trilchen.
Trelchen.
So, Shenla means to other people. Trilchen means you're very sensitive. Trel is, Chen means big, and Trel is to be courteous. So it's, being constantly being courteous to other people is a sign of a good Buddhist. Right? If somebody needs a seat, you give them a seat. Right? It's not like, when the subway doors open and like half the people get off, you race for the seat before someone else can get it, right? Not like that. Somebody else wants the seat first. So, and if you say you're a bodhisattva, but you don't hold door for a person, you're not really bodhisattva. It is bodhisattva, we're saying, like, I dedicate my life to you, I'll do everything for you, I'll serve you in any way possible. I'm too busy to hold the door, so just off. Right? There's this sort of reality check that we need to engage in, right? So, it's like I have to go home and practice, my commitments and meditate and, review my bodhisattva vows, but I'm not going to stay and help the after class, but I got to go, review my bodhisattva vows. It's like, no, not bodhisattva. It's like that. So this is being courteous, being sensitive to other people, helping people, carrying things, holding the door. Just, being courteous is the first step of being a bodhisattva, right? It's like the first 1/100% of being a bodhisattva is simple courtesy, right? Like if we can't show simple courtesy, how is it that we're like giving our lives to other people? We won't do like, you go through the door first. It's kind of silly, right? I mean, what are people talking about? If they're like, I'm a bodhisattva, but I gotta get in line first. I gotta have the subway seat. So, high bodhisattva practices start with normal courteous behavior towards other people. It's like, I don't spit where people are going to step because it's not courteous. I don't leave my gum where someone's going to step on it because it's not courteous. I mean, just simple little things, right? So, and then please say Shengi Dren.
Shengi Dren.
So Shen is others, Gi is of, and Dren, it's like it's almost not quite a slave, but like a foot servant. I'm the foot servant of other people, we're almost the slave of other people. And again, this goes back to the bodhisattva vows. When you take bodhisattva vows, it's like anything you want, ask me. I'm like your bodhisattva slave, right? I'll do any goodness for you. So I'm at your command, right? I'll be kind to you all the time. So this is, in a way, it's just being kind. It's plain old kindness, people need something, you're kind to them. It's not like this person's suffering, but I don't have time because I have to get home to watch my TV show or something. You know? I don't have time to sit there and spend a few minutes, with a lonely person or with somebody else because I got more important things to do at home. It's not kind. So that's simple kindness. Okay, you say next is Dulwar.
Dulwar.
Yeah.
Nyen.
Dulwar means tamed, and Nyen is to listen. So to listen in a sweet way, right? And primarily to if you have a teacher, listening to what they tell you to do, right? Listening carefully to what you're asked to do, like as a bodhisattva. You're supposed to be serving all of humanity, so it's listening and paying attention to what people need and what they ask you to do, right? So it's like listening or obeying, the requests for help or the instructions. Okay. And then number 8, we say Zumkar. Chen. So Chen is big, and Zumkar Chen means a smiling face. It means like teeth, like smiling teeth, smile. So you're always cheerful, You don't act grumpy. We're supposed to be helping all living beings, right? We're supposed to be kind to all living beings, serving all living beings, with a good attitude. Not like, oh, you want the first seat. Oh, you want me to do that one. Miserable, grumble, right? So, being cheerful is common bodhisattva behavior. No kvetching, no complaining, no grumbling that, the chapter helps somebody, right? Having a cheerful attitude about it all. Especially in the face of adversity, right? Like bodhisattvas are supposed to be able to handle it, be able to handle some tough stuff and help people even when it's not fun, when it's not easy. Okay, you say Dun, Ze,
Bakyu.
Dun means in common. Ze means to share in common. And Bakyu means thrifty. So like things that are commonly shared, like the environment, resources. So it's being thrifty or careful with things which are shared, common goods, would you say? Like don't waste food, don't waste resources, don't waste water, don't waste things which are common resources. Don't waste the riches of the planet. We live in the United States, which consumes, we have consumed the vast majority of the riches of the planet. And, we cause it and be happy about it. We have such abundance, but wasting it is the cost of not having it in the future. So, if we waste it, we'll be sure to not have it again. So it's being careful and being thrifty with resources, okay, so that they're available to share with others. And number 10, we say Pa.
Tap. Den.
So Pa means it's a word for warrior or a brave person. And Tak means a sign of a brave person or a sign of a warrior. And Den means possesses. So you possess it's courage. If you have courage, you possess a warrior quality like courage. So you're not afraid to take a stand, right? If you have this bodhisattva attitude, this lojong attitude, you're not a sissy about it, right? It's not like somebody's like mistreating somebody else and you're like, well, I'm not going to go get interfered because I can hurt, right? That's not being courageous, right? It's being a win. So it's having this attitude, and it's like Gandhi was a great example. He didn't mind getting beat up. He'd just go say that's wrong and stop it. And then he'd get beat up or knocked down or whatever the case would be. And he was okay with that, by and large. I think. So it's the same idea. It's like I'm a bodhisattva. I'm going to help people. Maybe I'll take some walks. I'm going to have courage about it, right? So that's the idea. Okay. So with your Buddhist worldview. It's important that you don't just talk the talk, but you walk the walk. This is true of bodhisattva behavior. It's especially true, when you get into the higher teachings. You have to keep your worldview. Especially when you get into higher practices, you could be accused of inappropriate behavior. You could be accused of things, and you have to be strong enough in your beliefs and strong enough in your understanding of karma to know that you're doing the right thing and that it's appropriate, and to not say, I don't have the courage to stand by my beliefs. I don't have the courage to stand by my practice. So, we're really talking about the need for courage and the need for bravery here to believe in your practice and to not not blow in the wind like long grass, to not just be blown every which way by the opinions of others and what others might think, what others might say, because you stand for your practice, and you believe in your practice, even if others don't. If they don't agree or if they don't believe, you say, I have the courage of my faith and I have the courage of my belief, and I'm going to engage in these practices because they're the right thing to do.
Can you give an example?
Geshe Michael. It's a great example. There's an example. So, for many years, I would say, I and others would say, Geshe Michael, we just gave you $1 million. Don't you think you should say thank you? I collected the karma. Saying thank you is not the cause for them to like me or to, to perpetuate having more donations or whatever else the case might be. Being good to other people and being generous and giving money is the cause to give things. And living in alignment with laws of karma. They're going to get pissed off. They just gave you $1 million, and you're not writing the reports, and you're not doing all the things people normally do with donors. And if you don't do this, that, and the other, then the relationship's going to go bad. It's like, no, it's not real positive. Right? So that'd be a simple example, right? Another example would be to say, I'm going to go do a 3-year retreat with a spiritual partner, and everybody could say I'm a bad guy and I'm doing something wrong, right? Which we did 10 years ago, and so it took a lot of heat and took a lot of thought for it, right? Or you take any example of anyone who's engaging in a spiritual practice with a pure view and with a pure intention, and other people may see it differently. And they may say, I don't agree with that practice, or I don't agree with that undertaking. Right? Is it possible, and this goes back to your point, is it possible that you could see me as some crazy person, right? And I could see myself as some holy person? Sure. Absolutely no contradiction whatsoever. Right? So what's the point? If I, from my side, say, and see validity, and have the valid reality that I'm engaging in some pure, holy spiritual practice, right? And then you say to me, are you nuts? What the hell are you doing? It's not like that's some stupid thing you're doing. That's some crazy thing you're doing. That's just some thing you made up, whatever it might be. Is there any contradiction between both of us being right? Are you right or am I right? Both. You validly see me as doing some crazy thing, and I may validly see myself as doing some holy thing. So, is Geshe Michael holy from his own side? I remember he said to me one time, he said to a group of people one time, he said, there's no contradiction between people seeing me as a great spiritual teacher and me seeing myself as ordinary. Or vice versa. Right? No contradiction whatsoever. And if it benefits people to see me as a great spiritual teacher, as a holy spiritual teacher, I'm an empty object. That's great. Why not? So this idea of self-existence pervades everything. And so the point that's being made here is as one moves through practices, especially moving up to higher practices, it's very interesting to me. You see, this is the transcript from, what's the date? This is a transcript from June of 1998. Okay? So before the first 3 retreat, and this is, it's sort of highlighting Geshe Michael's words in some places. And he says, I'm going to quote. He says, you have courage in the sense of a certain worldview is correct, and if you really keep a pure Buddhist worldview, you'll probably be drawn into some kind of friction with the way the world works. You'll be accused of something if you keep your Buddhist worldview, especially if you practice higher practices. You will be criticized, and you have to be strong enough in your beliefs and an understanding of karma to do the right thing. This is like 1998, which is 15 years ago. Right? And so it's prophetic in a way. He's had many criticisms, because of his higher practices. And is it true that he was holy and was doing a holy practice? Or is it true that he's doing something wrong? Which is correct?
Yes.
Yeah, for whom? Why did you say for whom? And, was Gandhi a hero or was Gandhi a villain? Well, the guys who were beating on him with clubs thought he was a villain, right? A lot of people thought he was a hero, which is correct. For whom? So it's like that. We're on number 11. You say duck?
Duck.
Xing.
So.
So duck is pure. Xing means field, and so means to create or to make. So to make your own Buddha field, to create your own Buddha field, your own pure land of paradise. To create that in the future is, the karmic cause of that is plain old, simple cleanliness now. And it's conducive to a certain state of mind to have a nice, simple, clean, well-ordered place to live. Get rid of the junk, especially in your meditation space. Make it comfortable, friendly, warm, neat, clean. And in Buddhism, that's called preparing your Buddha field by making your outer circumstances, your outer surroundings, right now, beautiful and sort of special and holy way. Okay, number 12. Please say chu.
Chu.
Sem. Shu.
Shu.
Chu means dharma. Sem is a mind. Chu sem means the dharma state of mind. And shu means you lost yourself to that, or you've abandoned yourself to that. So, your mind is carried away in the stream of the Dharma. Your mind is lost in the Dharma. All day long you're thinking spiritual thoughts. You're totally immersed in it all the time. It's like happily like in Dharma dreamland all day long, thinking virtuous thoughts all day long. So, it's reverent. You have this reverence in your mind all the time. So that's the 12. So if you go down the list of the 12, it's trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, reverent. It's 12. Anybody Boy Scout? Were you a Boy Scout, Bruce? Cub Scout. Yeah, you didn't. All right. So, those 12 things are what do you call it? Boy Scout
Code of ethics, I think.
Code of ethics, or like the Boy Scout Code of ethics. So then you ask.
I wasn't a Boy Scout, by the way. I just wanted to make that clear. I was the Duke of Edinburgh. We have a better code.
You wanted to be a Boy Scout?
I couldn't be. I was in Australia. We had the Duke of Edinburgh scheme. It's better.
So this is
Sorry.
it's a different scheme.
Yeah.
So this is the last question on the homework. It's not about the Duke of Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Was it the case that this was written by a holy lama 800 years ago? Like this 12-point lojong was written 800 years ago, and it's also the Buddhist code, the Boy Scout code of ethics, right? So who's who, right? And who's doing what? Is it possible that some holy being created this code of ethics for Boy Scouts? Like who's who, right? Like who were the people in our past who were important influences? Right? Are they self-existent? Do they exist in a certain way, in one way or another? Like if I think back to people in my life, there's my sister and my brother, and these people, and they're that, and that's the only thing they are. Good. This one's difficult, this one's nice, this one's a pain in the ass, and that's my history. And that's how it was, okay? And that's clearly what the past was, as I remember it. Well, not that it's divergent to science, but many studies have shown that memory is quite selective and inaccurate. But that's not really the point. Do you believe that people in your past could have been special beings? Do you believe that the person who wrote the Boy Scout Code of Ethics could have been the Bodhisattva or Buddha in an animation? And that's this week's meditation, is to look back at your past to engage in some Dharma revisionism. Like, who were these people really? They were major influences in your life. You think back to the major times in your life when someone influenced you for the better. You know, were they ordinary people, or were they perhaps special people, the bodhisattvas, right? And as we practice our lojong, and we look back upon the past, you have to ask yourself, it's normal that one would start to sort of engage in this positive revisionism, because the past isn't self-existent either. Right? And the memories and the events of the past are not self-existent. They are not concrete. Right? They are perception. So as the mind changes and as the mind becomes pure, so does the past. So does the memory of the past. And so this, on your homework assignment, it's to think of your past and look at your past and think about people who had these special influences upon your life in a positive way. Think of them differently as some kind of great bodhisattva or holy being who was helping, who was having influence. And then, isn't it natural that as the mind becomes purer and cleaner, we would just validly start to see them and think of them that way? So could they have been some kind of magic day or holy being who was something helping you?
Sashi Pogi Jushin Metokram Rira Blingshin Yundev Empadi Sange Shindu Mite Vivargi Drokun Namda Shinla Chiparsho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Ninyatayami Gewadi Geoku Sunam Yeshet Sok Shin Sunam Yeshet Junwei Dampa Kuni Toparsho.
See the holy being at your crown become smaller and brighter and merge with your heart, blessing your mind straight. Think about the power of this good deed when we quickly master lojong practice. Elevate every single being around us to the status of complete holiness and engage everyone we meet as our perfect holy teacher.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure.